Hello, it's March, right?
Yes.
24th. Yeah, almost 3 months past of this year. And it's SIG Node CI subgroup. Welcome, everybody. So we have pretty empty agenda and we have a test freeze today. So suggestion is to go through all legitimate issues and try to see which one we need to scream about and ask to merge, and whether we can expedite PRs that's under review as well.
Did you want me to share my screen that's got the benchmark or the milestone?
Yeah, definitely.
You might need to make me co-host.
Okay.
Magic. 1 second. Okay, so here we go. This is the list. We got 7 things. And I know that we're waiting on this one today, which is the I think there were some concerns about whether or not we could run these tests in conformance. So I don't know. I think Derek is going to take a look at this one before the end of the day today. So is he assigned? If not, I will assign him again. He is. Okay, so I guess that one's... There's basically, we have 2 PRs open and a few issues open. The other one, I think that might be... this one has also been sitting with Derek. I've been talking with Jordan about this one because he's also reviewed it. And basically, this fixes a thing that we would like to backport to 118, but it looks like it adds a new race condition, which I had brought up and apparently others have concerns about. And so the difficulty with this one is that if we don't merge it now, we can't backport it to 118 because basically the development won't reopen for 122 until after the last cherry pick deadline and the last 118 patch release. So there's a concern here in that if we don't merge this now, we can't backport it to 118, but there's also a concern it will introduce more bugs. So we're kind of at a bit of a standstill on this one. And I've talked to the release team, but there's not really, they're not going to hold the release for this as far as I can tell. So
I mean, 118 was out for a while, right?
Yeah, I think it was released in April of last year. So it was actually the first release with, I think, a full year of support. Because prior to that, we had only supported releases for 9 months. So, but yeah, there are folks that are kind of screaming about backporting this to 118. The problem is the thing that this tries to address. I mean, it fixes an actual serious correctness bug that affects clusters from when nodes go offline and go back online, and they basically mess up all of their online pod statuses, and pods get stuck in, I think, node affinity, and it's not great. I've seen a few bugs filed about it saying that, oh, this doesn't solve this in all cases or something like that, but it does seem to solve it in most cases. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what to do about this one. I mean, basically there are 2 options, right? We can merge this now, and then we'll have time to let it bake and do the backports, but that's relatively risky for this late in the release. Or we can wait until 122 and then it won't get backported to 118. I think those are basically the options. And
I don't think it was a risk. And I mean, the only thing we're risking is we cannot backport it to 118 in open source, right? So downstream people may still apply it.
Yeah. I mean, people can take the patch and build it themselves if they so wish, but that can be very difficult. So, yeah, I mean, not that there's a poll here, but some people are like, well, we should merge it now because we're worried. But it's we are also worried about making it worse because we've got a new potential race condition we might be introducing, and it's just so hard to detect this sort of thing without CI soaking. I mean, the initial patch that sort of spawned this issue looked very innocuous at the time and has introduced all sorts of weird knock-on effects. So Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to like put a statement on here, like on behalf of the like node I guess triage that we reviewed this today? Sergey, do you want to do that?
Okay.
Because yeah, I think this one's also basically like it's kind of waiting on Derek to make a call. Do we have an opinion as a group as to what we should do?
I'm not really familiar with the issue, so it's hard for me to say.
I can give you a very quick background, which is basically so a patch went in, which so the issue was that like that users would experience is they'd turn off a node and turn it back on, and all the pods on the node would get stuck in node affinity, and they'd have to do all sorts of weird things to get like those pods to like actually properly die, terminate, get rescheduled, that kind of thing. And this was happening basically because nodes would come online and they would mark themselves as ready before they even had a chance to sync with the API servers. So they'd be working with like outdated like view of like what the API state currently was for those pods. And as a result, like, you know, there would be sort of a race and a mismatch. And so the fix was, don't mark the node as ready until you know, we have the we've synced with the API servers and we can get that state and make sure it's in sync, so we're not doing anything wonky. So it's a correctness fix. But there've been a few knock-on effects from that. So one is that nodes sometimes will take longer to start if they're not running in standalone mode because they take time to sync with the API server. And so in some like single node instance cases or with kubeadm or that kind of thing, it can take longer to bootstrap now. But you know, it's a regression, but for the most part, it is a regression that like fixes correctness issues. So then there's a question of how can we make this faster, or
and like how longer will it take? By my understanding, it can be longer by minute, but not by some reason.
Yeah. It's like, you know, like in the order of like it might take a minute. I think 40 seconds was what most people were seeing. It's not like it's going to take 30 minutes or something like that. So there was that. There have also been a couple of follow-up issues claiming that like the node affinity issue was not fixed by this patch, but that has not been my experience in production yet. So that basically that there's more investigation that needs to happen. I've also seen some weird consequences that seem to start once we merge this in OpenShift. For when we do this, but we also on reboot do a cryo wipe. So we wipe all of the like previous container statuses, and that has caused some like weirdness with the like the node not really knowing like and basically like causing some accounting issues for pod life cycling. But because that doesn't happen with containerd or like typically in like kubectl, we haven't really seen that anywhere else. So that's what's going on with this. And yeah, there's a concern that like moving this into a Go routine when this is not thread safe is going to cause concurrency issues if we merge this. So it might make this faster, and it might address the regression, but it might also add new, bigger, badder problems. And because the kubelet has like so many things that are liable to get into race conditions, it's very uncertain what merging this, especially this late in the cycle, will actually do. So that is the risk.
It seems to me that from project perspective, the benefits are not really clear. And I mean, the unknown unknowns is what worries me most as engineer. Like there is a concrete risk, not just people brainstorming and introducing more data races, which is scary because it's hard to detect on CI. So my take is, disclaimer, I just read the issue before this meeting, the pull request as well, but admittedly, I don't know much. So this is just my take. Given that the signal for CI is uncertain and we are late in the cycle, unfortunately, it seems to be that the safest call is to not merge it yet. But I'm fully willing to defer the final call to Derek and to others. but from my engineering, and I'm done, from my engineering perspective, it seems that the unknown unknowns outweigh the known benefits. So this is
I think I agree with you there, but unfortunately, those folks who are like, but we desperately need this patched in 118, it will not make them happy. So.
But this is a release. Is it a release engineering issue? I mean, the PR per se has those problems, but can we? I'm not deep enough in the Kubernetes release engineering procedures. Like, hey, can we make an exception somehow, or it is now or never? Because there are two different things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think part of the problem too, I mean, this PR has been open for quite a while, and part of the problem is nobody wanted to make a call on it earlier in the cycle, and now it's a month later. We still haven't merged it, but now it's kind of like, oh, I don't know. And there have been like a lot of iterations. So it's not like, you know, this was just sitting here or something like that. I think like there were changes pushed as late as yesterday. So like it's not like it's been a static patch kind of sitting here without like being looked at for, you know, a month. So maybe given that, yeah, I mean, I would lean to also, but I don't want to, you know, Sergey, do you have thoughts on this? This is kind of like our big flaming, you know, like one critical urgent thing we probably need to decide today as Node.
Yeah, I think the problem with Kubernetes state overall is there are different types of users. Like some users just happy to take whatever, and they need features and they need more like innovations, and some people just need stability. So we need to decide like which camp we are leaning towards. So talking from stability perspective and like being conservative, you don't take fixes that late.
Yeah, but again, like our main purpose here is to cherry pick it under release 1.18, if I understand. And if I understand,
mean, maybe someone
1.18 should be stable release. And if you will now introduce some additional race condition, it's like will not be a stable release. So
yeah, I think you raised a point earlier, which I thought was very good, which was that if we, you know, like this isn't really the 118 cherry picking thing. I mean, that's not really our problem as a Node. Like that's kind of the release team's problem. And I think like as Node, it's reasonable for us to say there are known unknowns that make us not super comfortable wanting to merge this now. So if the only reason we want to merge this now is because we're worried about backporting to 118, we should make that their call. So I think that's a great point. You know, our job is just to say like, here's the technical side of things. It's not really our job to decide on the release schedule for people. So Sergey, do you want to add a comment along those lines? I've obviously commented on this a bazillion times. So
yeah, I can do that. I put notes in our document.
Oh, great. And yeah, I think other than that, we have, I think there's only like 2 things here labeled as release blocker, which are these 2. And then we have, who marked this lifecycle frozen? Don't do that. We have, I think, also this one as well, which I'm not sure if a PR merged for it. I think these are all on the test enhancements board. So maybe, Sergey, do you want me to hand it over to you? Since these all have milestones attached, we should be able to, I think if we go to the board, I think you can filter by milestone, like milestone V121. Does that work? Yeah, so we can just like go over them there.
Oh, okay. I thought you keep projection.
I'm gonna let you drive now.
Okay. And do you know if you want to take any other fixes into milestone, or we better not?
I don't think that we have, like, I mean, really what we got to focus on is, I guess, like test flakes, right? So do we have any other like burning things that have been filed against us?
just see a board and it's like it's very flaky right now. So like, let's look at test grid really quick. Can you see my screen?
Yep, it's good.
So if I look at release logging, all of them except Meister. Like Meister was also flaky yesterday. So like all of older tests are flaky, and it's different tests. So this is not like even a test. It's just like not test. It's something with infrastructure. It's fishy. Oops. Didn't mean to close it. So this, like yesterday's were like specific tests regarding metrics that needs to be addressed, but today I don't see it any longer.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah,
it was an
maybe
infrastructure thing, I think like anything over 95% is probably pretty good.
I remember we made the screen one time, so.
Yeah, all of these, I mean, you know, they're flaky, but it's like they're flaky in the over 99% pass range. So that's pretty good.
Okay. So yeah, something wrong with the infrastructure. So this also failing with overall like with infrastructure. And then what else I was looking at? Yeah. Oh, this one is also like has a lot of flakes. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think like since the release blocking and critical are not like yesterday there were a couple flakes that I don't see them today. So likely just infrastructure timeout issues. So and since we don't have anything like just jumping on us, it should be fine. I mean, we should be ready for release. That's why I agree. We can just walk through this and call today, I think. Okay. I think this issue has a PR associated with that.
Which one? The
yeah,
test
mount
file change? Yeah, it's interesting. Oh no, this one. It's interesting that they're not showing up on the board. Maybe someone didn't use the like GitHub fixes properly. Also, who set this one? Who set this one as a release blocker? I think this one also involves SIG storage. I'm just curious because it's not been triaged, so I assume it wasn't us. Oh, it was Liggett. Okay.
Okay, I think it's SIG storage, so it's very.
Do we want to fix the? Does it have SIG storage on there already?
Yep.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And Jink is from SIG storage. So.
Yeah, so maybe we just leave it with them. Should we comment as much? Yeah, it looks like Michelle's looking at it, so.
Yeah, I think we can just archive it out of. So the only thing is about pause image, like if you want to like help with that, but again, it's so.
Yeah, I mean they can tag us, I guess, if they need us, but I would agree that this probably isn't us.
Just archive it out. Okay. Issues in progress. Okay, it's merged.
So if it got merged, we should probably just close it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they linked the issue, but they didn't put fixes, so it never got auto closed. Great, that one's easy. Go us.
What's happening with I'm on call this week, so my phone sometimes goes.
Oh no, that's your phone? Oh, if you're getting paid, that sucks. If you need to go, just let me know and I can take over. But I think probably we'll finish pretty soon because
Yeah,
we've only got the
that's
one
right.
other issue.
Okay. Failing test should be restarted. Yeah, I think we had a PR that fixes it.
Ah, Swati, it looks like you looked into this one. Do you have any updates on it?
I'm sorry, I wasn't able to look at it last week. I might take a look at it this week.
Well, it looks like we have. Did we fix it?
Yeah, I remember we've been fixing it. So let's find PR. No, how do you associate PRs?
Oh, is it the
Yeah, this is merged.
1050 or whatever? 1050?
Okay. Because we don't have this test as conformance any longer.
Did we not? Or did we?
We removed them from conformance. I remember, like we sent 2 PRs from Teams and from myself
Oh,
at
I
the same
see.
time. Yeah.
Was this the exec probe test that we removed
Yep.
from conformance? Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about then. Then I guess this is probably fixed. Can we check the test grid to confirm?
Maybe it's not conformance any longer. That's why it's not here.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then I think we can close it.
Yeah, it will be nice to refer to this PR.
Yeah, so maybe we should link the PR that removed the test and then close it.
Okay. Yeah, syscontrol.
Yeah, Derek was worried.
Syscontrols.
Yes, we're trying to do it this release, and we have a docs PR that's up as well. The only thing is we need to update the test to conformance. And Derek said he wanted to go through them all to make sure that we weren't accidentally including anything with unsafe sysctls, because those should not be in conformance.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a big deal if it's not happening in this release. Typically, like people fine with that.
Oh,
I mean,
are we allowed
No.
to like promote the conformance tests after? Because I mean, the GA flag is set, like the feature
Yeah.
flags have been removed, but it was already by default on. So
It's not like we are allowed. It's just this is quite recent practice to like
I
force
see.
people into conformance.
I see.
So
So it's just
sometimes you can delay it.
yeah.
Because I mean, ideally, you need to do it during beta. You need to be almost ready for conformance, and then yeah.
But this is new. Yeah, I understand. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I'm just hoping, like, because we're currently, like, we're holding the thing on the website on this PR, and I don't think that makes any sense. Because I don't know if the plan is we revert the feature flag change. Like, that's not going to happen. It was already defaulted, so I don't know. I'll check in with people. Hopefully, this will just get merged, and it'll be fine with potential changes that are needed.
Okay, and offline, just this morning I went through PRs need attention. They still need attention. I cleaned up like triage issues. So like there are a few review in progress, and I didn't see anything critical that we want to take in this release. So I wanted to go with all of you again, but it may not worth the time. I doubt people will accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can at this point like kind of punt on a lot of this stuff until like, you know, we cut the release and we reopen for dev, because until we do that, like these things are going to sit no matter what we do. So.
Yep. Okay, any other agenda items for the day?
I have a small question. I have some end-to-end test fix for the memory manager, and I saw that it's approved and looked good to me, and it's targeted to milestone 1.21, but it's still not merged. Like, do I need to get some additional attention from someone to get it in or not?
That doesn't look like it has the milestone set to me.
Ah, okay. Like it can wait for the next release. It's not, again, it's not blocking.
Yeah, no milestone is currently set. I don't know, was one on there and did it get removed, or just was it never added?
I saw some commit, probably from you, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken. My memory is corrupted.
Oh, so I guess we added it, and then what happened? The problem is now it hasn't had like a week to bake, so I'm not sure what we want to do about that.
Like again, it's not like blocker or something like this.
Yeah, we can just wait, I think.
I just was curious why it's like you targeted it and
yeah,
like
bot race didn't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.